Let's see, where is it here? Oh, I was told, this person's been told a lot of things. I was told that you can read the chart from any of the other planets too. How is that? So this question then goes to, well, can you just look at Jupiter? And can you look at the degree of Jupiter? And can you create a chart from Jupiter? Can you look at Saturn and create a chart from Saturn? Yes, you can. And I think that's a very useful thing to do. But it does take a lot of work, because essentially you're then reading the chart. You're zeroing in on a specific quality of the person. And so if we were taking Jupiter, for example, well, what is Jupiter about? What is the purpose of Jupiter? Jupiter is a planet which represents our sense of purpose. Jupiter is a planet which represents our capacity for happiness and well-being. Jupiter is a planet that helps us understand deeper truths. And so if you want to read a chart from Jupiter, you can do it in this way. Let me see. Let me pull up another example here. We'll just use the chart we've been using. So if we're looking at this chart and we want to understand, what is this person's happiness in life going to be like? Are there going to be any obstacles to the person's happiness in life? Well, if we want to understand obstacles, some things that we can look at is the situation of the sixth house from Jupiter. So if we start here in Pisces and we go around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, well, we come to Leo. All right. Well, there's not anything going on in Leo that we can see just from a casual glance. We can see that Leo is being Rashi aspected, or we're getting an energy coming from Capricorn, which is going to bring a bit of this quality of Ketu. We see that the sixth lord from Jupiter is going into the 12th house, neutral dignity. Let's see, how is the sun doing with Mercury and Venus? So Venus is starving the sun, taking the sun from 455.6 points of Shadbala strength down to 73.5. And Saturn's bringing the sun down 550.2 points, which makes the sun have negative 94.5. So overall, with this Jupiter, is this person going to feel like they're able to really follow their inspiration, which is a sun quality? That's what the sixth house is about for this particular situation. Well, sometimes, yes, when Moon and Mars are having a strong dasha influence or a strong transit, but we see that Venus and Saturn are really hurting that sun. And so this person is going to get derailed. Their happiness is going to get derailed by Venetian things, which is what? Listening too much to the counsel of others, or potentially the women or the feminine energies within a person's life. We also see that Saturn is hitting the sun pretty hard, which means that Saturn is going to give a sense of a lot of delays and setbacks. Like things just take too long. Like in order to be happy, they're going to feel like it's just forever until fulfillment comes their way because of that influence of Saturn. And then we can see that Saturn and Moon are in, or is in, I'm not sure which I should use there, are or is, in the 10th house from Jupiter. And the 10th house from any planet is going to have is going to be a very strong indicator on whether that planet is being supported or not in its agenda. And as Jupiter, it's a sense of happiness. So we do have not only Saturn impacting Sun, which is the ruler of the sixth house from Jupiter, but we see that Saturn is in the 10th from Jupiter with the moon. So there's some negative Lagitatia Vashtas going on there, which shows the person, again, is going to be a little more hyper-fixated on what could go wrong that prevents them from having happiness or from feeling a sense of purpose. And then we could add one more thing to it. This Jupiter is in its own home, so it's going to have a lot of potential, but it's also in the 8th house. Now that's going to be good for a lot of things, such as comprehensive research, the ability to see the bigger picture, to explore the deeper levels of their consciousness, or again, research in general. But it is in the 8th house, which means that this person's happiness still is going to have a lot of sudden breaks and changes, an 8th house influence here. So anyway, we can take a planet and we can look at it as though it is an ascendant and read the chart from there. And again, each house from a planet represents a specific thing. The 10th house from the planet in question represents how is the activity of that planet going to be supported or not. The 6th house from the planet in question could show the enemies or the difficulties or the obstacles and how that person deals with those things related to that planet. The 12th house can deal with the losses that that planet has to deal with or manage. So you can, if you understand what the planet means, and again, we've all of you have at least made it through the Grahas and planets section of this program, which means you should have a fairly comprehensive idea of what each of these planets means. So if you can kind of embody the planet, see where it is in the chart, read the chart from that area, that will tell you how the quality and the energy of that planet more specifically is able to express itself. So this is one of those things that, again, can really add a refinement to your understanding of what's going on in a person's chart. And it's also a way to help you confirm or deny subtler details, because that's really the art of astrology. So many people just read the chart from the ascendant and they do their best, and oftentimes their intuition will help them, because we have to remember that astrology is a spiritual, a subtler science, which means that if you've got good intuition, if you've got a good connection to the wholeness of life, if you're in the flow of knowledge and truth, I suppose, even if you don't have fantastic techniques or understanding the building blocks of astrology, you can still get to the right place. But since we're human, that comes and it goes. It's much better if we know ways to refine what we see, so that we can be more accurate and more specific to the best of our ability. So this is why you might want to look at where a planet is and then read the chart from that area.